counted. Then I'm back up.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL playoffs on EA Sports, and we are at Wintry First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. Coming up, it's divisional round Saturday, and we've got an AFC battle on tap between the Miami Dolphins and the Cleveland Browns. The first of 4 berths in the conference championships on the line here as divisional weekend in the NFL is underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
Hey, Brown 80!
Check 53, Mike.
You ain't going nowhere. What?
Now the former 4th-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
At the 25-yard line.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Now Rivers. And his throw here's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mike Gesicki, and it's 3rd and 5.
You put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. It's complete to Graham. And they work this well upfield across the 45. No catches for him in the wild card win last week, but he's got a first quarter grab here.
All right, 380. Brown. Get that quarterback.
A first down throw here for Rivers. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he takes this way down, deep into Cleveland territory. A big play there for the Dolphins. 41 yards. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They run it with Ballage. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now Ballage. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Rivers. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Myles Garrett with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. Not the touchdown they wanted, but hey, you're on the road in the playoffs. They did get 3 on the board.
Yeah, it's a good opening drive, so you feel good about it yourself. You get to the sidelines, the defense feels good by you helping them right out of the gate. The team, yeah, they feel pretty good about coming in the playoffs and getting points on the board right away.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 24. first carry now for Nick Chubb. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
King. Hey, seam 6. What?
They go with Chubb on second down. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down.
Get that ball. Get that ball.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Here comes Grant on the return. And call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They'll start with a give here to Balaj. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Throwing Rivers. That's caught by Geronimo Allison. In a wild card win last week, he had just 2 catches, and now he's got his first one here. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Block the team!
From the 36, Rivers, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on 3rd down. From the gun, Rivers. Incomplete. This is Albert Wilson. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And there is nothing easy about being a kicker on a day like this.
Yeah, I tell you, not only is the footing tough in the snow, but kicking that ball is like kicking a rock. Very difficult to get any sort of feel on your kicks.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. And he's got the hook up to Landry. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
Complete to Jarvis Landry. A 3-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 7.
On to the second from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it 2nd and 7. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
180.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. A toss play to Chubb. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
65.
Hey, alert, 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 alert.
52, Mike 52.
I got it.
3rd and short yardage. Mayfield. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And look at this, it's a fake. And boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. A little trickeration there, but it doesn't fool this defense. And the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
Here I come again. Here I come again. Here I come again. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Hey, check.
Keep it skinny.
Throwing, Rivers. Got a man, that's Allison. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Mack Wilson with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. And, Charles, they only needed a yard there. They try to pass the football. What do you think?
Well, I can't really go all out and kill them for the call because that 3rd and 1 fake and throw it over the top for a big play, that often does work. But in this situation, the pressure got to him.
Call it a 48-yard punt. Give them 9, though, on the return. And the Browns will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Cleveland offense ready to go. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
They run again on 1st down. Chubb up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. We'll check on his status when we get back.
Hey, here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
Now a carry here for Orleans Darkwa. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the 1st down.
55 to Mike. All day, punt.
Hey, Zoo.
Mike 55. Mike 55.
Real.
Eat. Hey, D-line.
Mayfield on 1st down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. There he goes right side. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami.
That was an interception, but on the field, the guys who are picking it off, they're not saying that. What word are they using? It's Oski. And that means catch the ball and go the other way.
That's your vernacular. I've never heard anybody say Oski.
Ask around. They'll tell you.
You always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And the lead grows to 10-0. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
Let's go. Take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for first and 10. Mayfield down. Steps away to his left. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah. Not
an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a first down as well.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. And he'll get this down close to a first down at about the Dolphins' 25.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Mayfield on 3rd and 2. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Well, that's something of a pick-me-up, but the offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Rivers. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Here's Matt Hawk now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. The Cleveland offense ready to go. Inside of a minute left in the half. Does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do, or I guess don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him. Can he make a play? Can he get into someone that we're going to trust to take care of the ball? If that's the case, I might push it a little bit here and try and get something before the half runs out.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Mayfield. Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Play fake. Mayfield. He's going to float this one deep right side. It's caught at the 10. A big play there just before halftime. 41 yards. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. A first red zone opportunity for the Browns thus far. They're looking at a 1st and goal from about the 9. They'll throw again. Here's Mayfield escaping the pressure right. That one complete to Wilkins, the running back. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Mayfield with it once more. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. In the pocket, chucked it away. Flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field. Have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
That grounding call could very well doom this drive. We'll see. They'll try again here, 3rd and goal. Going to the air again with Mayfield. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while. What
it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. They go play action. Rivers. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. He was trying to get it to Kalen Ballage out of the backfield. And it's 3rd and short. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2.
Hey, here we go.
This time they stay on the ground. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. So it's on to halftime in this AFC divisional round matchup. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, win or go home, that's the name of the game, and we're back underway with the second half of this AFC divisional round. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Mike by two.
Bravo.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Hey, Mike. Hurry.
Mayfield from the gun on third down. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this...
Oh, batted at the line and intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Joe Schobert. And this drive will start on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
They'll run with Darquan. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Mayfield. And he's wrapped up. Taken down. Back at the 25. Nick Perry leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Mayfield in this Browns offense staring at a 3rd and long now after the sack. 3rd and long for Mayfield. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. It became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
So put 3 on the board. A little bit of a hook on the driver that time. Looked a little bit like you, Charles, over on the 8th at Windermere.
You know me too well, partner, except that he got his to hit a tree and kick back into the fairway.
So we're back to a 1-point game now as the kickoff comes. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. A throw left side to start the drive is complete.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Throwing again on second down. Rivers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
And that's the second sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Kill, kill, kill. Turn up. Kill, kill, kill. Turn up. Check, 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 check.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. It's the former Dolphin All-Pro Olivier Vernon, providing a little deja vu, back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good.
It's been a struggle all game for them on offense. This was a chance to maybe provide a little bit of a spark with a punt return. Unfortunately, that spark got doused.
Yeah, and you call special teams the 3rd phase, but you see here it can be the 1st phase sometimes.
That is so true, right? It can ignite it one way or the other, and boy, that didn't help them at all.
On 1st down, it's Wilkins. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down now, Hilliard. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland 1st down.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
Check 52. Come on. It's all
Alert, 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 alert.
Hey, it's all right.
Mayfield now looking to throw on 1st down. And incomplete. How about the defensive effort from both of these teams that we've seen in this game?
Would you say it's like a high-stakes chess match right now?
Chess is one way to go. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, the only reason I say that, you feel like they're contemplating their moves before actually making one, and none of them being done very confidently.
Truth be told, I've never played chess, and I know that I'm not smart enough to play chess. Guys like you with your IQ, you can pull that off.
55, Mike 55. All day, just like that. Just like that.
Hurry! 55. Right there in the middle. Hey, alert 33.
Mike 55.
I got you.
A 2nd down throw for Mayfield. He's going to air one out. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete.
Foxtrot, Foxtrot.
Go. Mike 55, Mike 55. Hey, eat.
I got you.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Rashad Breeland there defensively and able to knock that one down to the ground.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe. Not too shabby here. This will skip out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. On 2nd and 9, Rivers nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Larry Ogunjobi in for the sack.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up, back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle.
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
36. Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
Instead, they go empty backfield as they look to throw. And now he's taken down. And Rivers in the end zone. Down to the ground he goes. That results in a safety and 2 points. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
At the 27-yard line.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. From the gun, Mayfield. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
It's a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and 10.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. One quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Browns on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 9.
That's got to be a long day. Hatchet.
Real. Hey, alert!
55, Mike 55.
Quarterback, don't get nervous now. We ain't beginning to tear you up. Don't get nervous.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Pressure comes and down goes Baker Mayfield. Chris Jones. He's the culprit, causes a loss of 5, and it brings up 4th down. Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Returnable for Grant. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get. And it's just so strange to see that go up on the board. And then you got to make sure that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But, boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
Rivers now to throw on 1st down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Larry Ogunjobi able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They'll run here with Blanche. 9 yards on the gain there, and it's going to bring up a tough 3rd and 7.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, This intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. They'll set up the screen to Balaj. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. Call it a loss of 6 on the play. And it'll be fourth down. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Returnable here for Callaway. A punt of 46, a return of 5. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Browns drive about to get started. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone. As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Mike, 55. Check, 55. Mike, ready? Hey, orbit.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. 7 yards on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
The Browns on 3rd down. A pretty anemic, a very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. To throw, Mayfield. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. No gain at all on the play there, and that brings up 4th. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
And he'll be out right at the 35. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long.
Hey, I'm going to go load it. Load it. Tight down. There you go. Right here.
Working out of the gun, Rivers. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. 12 yards on the return that time. The Cleveland offense ready to go. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
You ain't doing nothing today. Tight dog.
Now Darkwa. Jerome Baker there on the tackle.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Fourth quarter, 2 minutes on the clock in a tight 1-point game. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a second down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line.
Switch it. Come on, switch it. Switch.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. It's a gain of 10, and the Browns are going to get a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Well, now they'll try the end around. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Second and long, but you got to figure this almost certainly another run. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. They'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll get them inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be 3rd and about a foot or 2.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And the play clock is going to run out here. They're in no hurry to get a play off. And that'll set them back 5. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This will be a 34-yard attempt. Seibert able to knock this one through. And the lead becomes 4 now, 14-10. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, Those will be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. One possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring, and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
Here we go, here we go. 6 guys, check 6 guys.
Rivers to throw. He's going to let it fly. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward.